Good morning again, YouTube. I'm here on this lovely sunny day in Fairfield, Maine. Today we're going to be working on a KTC 1250. Stands for Knox Tie Crane. 1250 is a model number. This is the overall of the machine. This machine's purpose is to move railroad ties. Just sets them out on the tracks. Doesn't install them. That's that machine's job. That's a Nordco Trip, T-R-I-P, Trip. I don't know a whole lot about that one. We'll get into that later. Today, let's go over this machine. Basically, you have a rotating machine on a swiveled base with a grapple claw. My customer's not here today, but I have free range of the machine and I have to do some repairs, so we're gonna get some good video today. Start on this side of the machine. You have your main boom, your dipper boom, your grapple claw, which can rotate 360 degrees, just like the whole machine can. There's your engine. We'll get a little closer look at that later. Hydraulic tank, fuel tank. Fuel tank, 52-gallon capacity, 96 gallons of hydraulic oil. These are our 3 butterfly valves. They supply hydraulic oil to these 3 hydraulic pumps. This is a test port for a quick connect. You can plug your hydraulic test port gauge directly on there. This is our high pressure hydraulic filter. This is our Cummins 4.5 liter engine. This is our backup camera. This is all counterweights. The engine sits on top of counterweights. These are glad hands. If you're going to tow a cart that has air brakes, you can apply the parking brake or apply the service brake. Parking brake is released with air pressure, just like in a truck, and applied with foot pedal pressure. This in the middle is a tow hitch. We'll go around to the other side. You get a better view of how that works when you're towing a cart. Steps at all 4 corners of the machine. Our 24-volt battery system. There's our radiator. Let's see if we can get a closer view and get our sight glass in there. Half full on the sight glass. It's full of antifreeze. Nice Visionaire air conditioner. It's nice and cool today, so we'll be needing that. Again, filtered air will be fed into this so that you can pressurize the cab without having to worry about filling your cab with dust. This is our maintenance placard. This shows the entire machine, and if you go over these individually, everything with a D stands for daily. That means every day. If you number that, 5 EP. Come down here to 5, grease, slew drive, 20 pumps. EP, extreme pressure grease. Then you have weekly with a W. So we come back to this. Let's pick this one, number 9, EP. Every week, grease axle bearings, see manual. Monthly, let's pick a monthly. Here we go, EO 11. Change engine oil and filter. Oh, there's only one. Hexagon, 6 months. AL, number 17. So we come down here to 17. Lubricate swivel mount pin. AL, anti-seize lubricant. Here's our battery master switch. It has a DEF system. So after you shut down the engine, you wait 2 minutes before turning off the master switch. This is your master switch. Let's check inside our master switch and circuit breakers box here. Okay. These are all circuit breakers. They look just like a fuse. Let me pull one out. It's the same width as a normal fuse. This is a 10 amp. I'll turn it this way so you can read it. 10 amp, up to 28 volts. Ignition protected. The way these work is it is a circuit breaker. And if that little black tab pushes out, you can reset by pushing it back in instead of having to replace a fuse. It'd be real handy if they'd put those in cars. Next to it, you'll notice these little red LEDs. If this red wire becomes a ground because there's no power attached to the circuit, that red light will illuminate, indicating that this circuit breaker has been tripped. That way you don't have to sit there and try to push each one of those little bitty things individually. You just find that one that's lit up and reset it. These are the knife blade circuit breakers. They're for high amperage, 100 amp, 135 amp, 30 amp. When they trip, they look just like this. And you just push that back in. 30 amp goes to the 12 volt converter. 135 amp goes to the emergency pump. 100 amp controls everything else on the machine. All right, let's close this back up. These are the brakes. It's currently in park because the machine is not running, which means this is tight. It's tight against the wheel. It doesn't have drums or calipers or rotors, just like a normal car would. These apply directly to the steel wheels. This is the plunger that when you release the parking brake, this will go down, and when you press the foot pedal, it will come up again, applying the brakes. Just like in a semi-truck, it has a brake air canister. Back around to the front of the machine, numbered grease points, little toolbox, same as the rear, except this one has a tow bar attached to it to tow a cart to hold the ties. This is our boom. Our boom is on the ground, so it's not currently in the locked position. This is our grapple. The grapple, which can swivel and grab ties. That little hook opens and closes and grabs the ties. This is the swivel. It can let that grapple head rotate 360 degrees. The dual bar system keeps the grapple pointing down at all times. There's no reason to have it facing up because you only handle ties with this machine. These are the grease lines. You can grease the machine even if the boom is extended all the way out and you can't reach it. You follow the grease lines up, and we have a nice little light. Adds more grease lines, follows all the way down. We'll get on the other side of this boom and I'll show you the rest. So if we follow our grease lines, all the way down, joined together in this block at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see it behind all the hydraulic hoses. Connect these, which go down and swivel under the machine and allow you to grease the wheel bearings and everything else. This is the swivel for the rotating deck. This is the drive motor, which swivels the machine. There's a large ring gear underneath and a small gear attached to this motor. And here is that ring. It's protected from vision so that dirt, rocks, dust, and everything else don't get in there and mess it up. We're back up top. The swivel allows hydraulic fluid to pass through a rotating orifice. It's what makes the machine be able to spin 360 degrees without breaking hoses, twisting up lines, or doing anything like that. And it allows the machine to travel because all of the travel system is under the machine. Right above this is our main hydraulic valve bank. You'll notice there's test ports here, here, and here. These are our valves. These 4 valves are CAN system valves. That means they are controlled by a computerized module. The joysticks are all part of a CAN system, which is controlled by a Danfoss controller. We'll get in the cab later. So if you'll notice, these 4 valves are electronically shoelaced together. One comes in right here, this large gray line, and then they literally just jump from coil to coil, one after another. So if I can get it to focus. There we go. And then the last one is even left open because it doesn't do anything. And then we have our regular 24 volt coils on this end. They're not computer controlled. This controls our boom lock, which is this. I'll show you how that works later. This next one controls deck lock. This is our propel. These control the machine moving forward and reverse. And this one is the grapple. That's the hook at the end of the boom. Controls that. Opens and closes. This one controls the rotator, which rotates the grapple. The swing, which is the rotation of the whole deck. The dipper, which is the arm connected to the grapple. And then the root boom, which is this first boom here. Back on this side, we have our engine. Check your engine oil daily. Disconnect your ECM before welding. Filters, fuel filter, water separator, air filter. Right next to this is our hydraulic tank. All of our little return hoses, filler, breather, return filter. And this is a cushion valve. What this does is allows your rotator to come to a smooth and even stop without putting too much pressure on this swivel motor. This is our hydraulic oil sight glass. It has a float in it so you can see the level, and a temperature gauge. It's nice and chilly out this morning. Here's our fuel tank with our def tank right on top of it. is our fuel level gauge. As you can see, we're sitting at half tank. This communicates to the display and tells the display how much fuel is in the tank. This is our hydraulic cooler. It's like a radiator with 2 electric fans. And it just lets hydraulic flow in the bottom and out the top. And I know a lot of you are going to say, why does it flow from bottom to top? Doesn't heat rise? Yes, heat does rise. However, air also rises. So if you have your inlet at the top, it would allow all of your fluid to flow back through, and your circulation pump would cavitate or get air in it. So having your inlet at the bottom makes sure that no air gets into your pump. It doesn't ruin your pump. Top of the engine, we have a DEF system. I'm not 100% familiar with all of the components, but essentially your exhaust comes out of the engine and into the first scrubber. This is where all of your DEF fluid is injected and treated. And it flows through into the muffler, where it gets its second treatment and is measured. And then it flows out the end. And then here we have our nice little horns. Look just like air horns, don't they? But they're electric. These are electrical connectors. They come down here, flows right into a nice electrical connector. You can unplug it. This connector controls your horns and your beacon light. Plug it, see on the inside, we use Deutsch connectors. Male pins, female pins. These are great because all you have to do to work on these is peel this orange out, and then on the inside there'll be little tabs. You push the tab to the side and slide the wire right out the top. They're great. And let's put that back together. Make sure we're going the right way. Push it in and click. All right, we're back on the other side. Let's turn on our battery power. Once I do this, my beacon light comes on. I can get back far to see it. And it's flashing. Can't see it in the sunlight. Come into our cab. First aid kit, fire extinguisher, seat, controls. Here's our operator seat, joysticks. Let's get started, shall we? All right, as you can see, we're gonna turn on our engine. Pressure, 900 RPM. Okay, let's start out with the basics. Engine speed, increase and decrease, run, idle, manual regen, DEF system inhibit. Never use DEF system inhibit. This machine will automatically regen using the DEF system throughout the day. You won't even know it's happening. Sometimes it'll show a light, sometimes it won't. It will just regen automatically. If you flip this off, that light appears. If it skips a regen cycle 3 times in a row, it will shut off. The engine will shut down, and it will not restart until the manufacturer can reset it. Okay, while we're sitting here, enables are in, joysticks enable, controls enable. Machine will do nothing. The air brakes are manual, so they'll still apply and release. As you can see on the display, we have 103 psi of air pressure, 104, it's building up. Press, release. Oh wow, it can go faster than I can dump it. DEF system is at 81%. Hydraulic temperature is good, hydraulic level is good, hydraulic filters are good. Engine oil pressure, coolant temp, and coolant level are all good. You have your boom and deck locks. I'll get to those later. Come down here to our menu. Scroll down to engine. See our coolant temperature, oil pressure, system voltage, engine speed. Set at 900 RPM. It'll tell you the exact otherwise. Your air filter is good. Let's go to our next one, DEF. All your DEF systems looking good. You're at 81% capacity. Hydraulics, control pressure. It says 72 psi. Let's see if we can get that to come on. Look at that. We pull these up, we get full pressure. Propel pressure is at 270, 280. That's static pressure. It has two opposing sides at all times. And you try to give it pressure by trying to move. It goes up. Charge pressure is what moves your propel pressure. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically you have a pump inside of a pump, and you use a small amount of pressure to move a large amount of pressure. Your hydraulic oil temperature is 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Hydraulic oil level and oil temperature are both good. Your return filter, pressure filter, control pump strainer, polishing pump strainer, and propel pump strainer are all good. Let's go to our next one. System faults. As I said, this has a CAN system. If any of those are faulty, that will illuminate red. Go left and right. You see all the different types of things that are in the CAN system, all the monitors, everything. If any of those have a fault, they'll show red. And then we can go down to engine faults. It has a few, probably because of that loose wire. Yeah. SPN 63, that's low voltage, low voltage, low voltage, low voltage, low voltage again. So we'll have to get these to clear out. I don't think we can though. Then we can go down to settings. Screen brightness, date and time, standard or metric, fuel level, DEF level warning, and your hour reset. Now, that's not what you think. It's not an engine hour reset. It resets the work hours on the machine. It's kind of like a trip meter for an hour meter. Over in the top corner is the machine serial number, KTC 1250-507-22. Means it's a 2022 machine. So, come down here and hit home, go back, look right here, trip hours, voltage, machine hours, 25.9. This is a brand new machine. Okay. With these depressed, nothing works. So we're gonna come over here, controls enabled. With this up, we still can't move our joysticks, but we can move the machine. That way you can travel long distances without having to worry about moving your boom or spinning around and hitting a sign or a post or another machine or something like that. So then we're gonna pull this up. Now these are gonna work. We're gonna start over here on the right. As you can see, your right hand joystick controls your root boom and your swing. Your left joystick controls your dipper boom and your indexator. That's the swivel on the end of the root boom. Dipper boom here. So, start by pulling back. We'll raise our root boom. That's this guy. You'll notice this little sensor. See, lit up orange. Come back over here. We are now aligned. I can come up here and press boom lock. When I push this, our lock's applied. Now with the lock applied, because this is a CAN system, it's all computer controlled, now this won't do anything. Can't go up or down now. Can try, but it can't do anything. So we'll go back and unlock it. And it unlocks. Then you have another thing here. Deck. If I move this left and right, our machine rotates. When I get straight ahead, let's see if I can get it. This aligns. I come up here and press deck swing lock. Now I can't move left or right. Other things still work. Still open and close this. Alright, so let's unlock this. Let's swing back around here where we can see what we're doing and not have to worry about hitting anything. And we have our dipper boom. If I push this forward, it goes out, comes back. As I rotate this, it rotates clockwise, counterclockwise. And it can just spin all the way around, not hurting a thing. Okay, and then back over here we have this button. So I press that, it opens. When I release, it closes. What's that for? Grab and railroad ties. Let's try it. Push this out. Spin back around. Let's pick this guy up right here on top. It's hard to do this one-handed, people, so just so you know. I'm gonna come down and grab. There we go. This is much easier with two hands. Come out. If we're gonna replace ties, you swivel around this way. Pull it all the way in. Maybe spin around here a little closer. Rotate. And you set it in place. Maybe a little out. But you set it in place so that the trip machine can come by and pull out a tie and have one ready to stuff in. You press the button, release, and then you're good to go. Now, let's put it back on the cart, shall we? So we're going to rotate this back around, push it way out so that it clears the stems, rotate it nice and easy. And ease it down. Release. And there you have it. Tie crane. I'm not a professional at this. Done, stab this into the ground, therefore people can't walk under it, bang their head on it, and we're good to go. Push these back down. There, now nothing works again. And blower horn, see, electric horn. Here's our air conditioner. Turn the pressurizer on, and all that does is pull filtered air into the cab. You can come here and turn it on fan, it'll blow. Right behind the seat. Or we can come here and put it on cool, and it will blow very cold. Alright, let's go over all these. We have our backup camera. As you can see, there's nobody behind us right now. Front wiper. Low, high. Rear wiper, boom, power down. All right, what this does, I need two hands to show you because you have to hold it. But with this pressed down, when you push down on the boom, I'll turn these back on so you can see. When I push down on the boom, it just goes to the ground and it stops. But if I hold that button down and I push down, it will literally raise the machine off the ground. In case you've derailed yourself, you can put yourself back on the tracks. Let's turn this off so we can be a little better. So we come back up here, boom lock, which I showed you, deck swing lock, which I showed you, mode, work and travel. Work mode and travel mode has to do with, is it four-wheel drive or is it series or parallel? It's basically like saying, is it four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive? In two-wheel drive, it can go much faster because it has a higher flow, but in series, it's like four-wheel drive. It moves a little slower, but it is definitely easier to work in. Travel direction, you can make this foot pedal, which goes left or right for forward or reverse, work backwards. This one does not have auto brake, deck swing limiter, front washer, or heated mirror, rail clamps, or winch. Rail clamps and winches are used on bridge cranes. And then over here we have our lights. Travel lights, forward and reverse, work lights on or off. Work lights are all the way around the corners of the cab, on the front, out on the boom. Travel lights work the brake lights as well. Engine hours, 19. It's not exact, but it's pretty close. Then we have our emergency pump. It's an electric pump. In case your engine fails or your other pumps fail, you can use that to get yourself picked up so that you can be towed to safety. And that will be all for today.